The military charity Help for Heroes plans to cut 142 staff roles after a sharp drop in income during the pandemic. The organisation, which supports wounded veterans and their families, relies on public donations for 97% of funding. Since March, many fundraising events have had to be cancelled or postponed. Have a look at today's front pages in the papers. Let's start with The Guardian. Focusing on the impact the testing shortage is having on teachers particularly, reporting that up to 25,000 of them in England may have been forced out of the classroom and into self-isolation.
The Times is reporting that ministers are considering telling pubs and restaurants in virus hotspots around the country to close early, to close by 10 p.m.
The Daily Mail has the headline, "We've failed." That's referring to Boris Johnson's admission on Wednesday there are not enough tests to meet demand.
And one of the most read stories on the BBC website is from the Sun newspaper. It's quoting the Prime Minister, saying that people who should speak to those who break social distancing rules before calling the police. It comes after Mr Johnson's colleague, Policing Minister Kit Malthouse, called on people to report neighbours who were breaking the coronavirus rule of 6. Now, the new rules came into force in England, Scotland and Wales this week. I know you like your cycling. Great picture here. So if you're thinking Tour de France, what would you think is the most unusual or surprising way of transporting a cycle and a cyclist? Transporting the cycle and the cyclist.
What, for the team?
Yeah.
Well, a balloon.
Not far off. Here you go. This is in the Bastille Fort, going to the Bastille Fort above Grenoble. The 17th stage of the store began in the town yesterday, so it's 170 kilometres to Mirabel. It's quite a brutal stage, and they get a lift with those.
Well, can we get in closer? So that is the cycle actually underneath the?
Yes,
it's
and the person
car.
on the cycle. The person is on the cycle as well.
That surely cannot be the actual Tour de France riders doing that. They wouldn't risk that, would they?
I don't know. I can't find out. I'll look into it. It's a great picture. It's a great picture, isn't it?
Won't be trying in a hurry. So this story in the Daily Telegraph is all about our perception of what we think the Vikings look like. So you might think they were blonde and burly. That's what they're saying here. I'm not sure about burly, but blonde and burly.
Horns and hard helmets.
Yeah, they're seen as a warrior race who traverse the seas to raid and colonise distant seas. But check the skeletons, as the experts are doing now, and they've looked in Europe and Greenland, showing they're in fact less of a race and more of an idea, with some even hailing from Scotland. And they think, you get the idea, it's sort of brown-haired, and they have a different build from what they're expecting. So we didn't know genetically what they actually look like until now.
I don't think they're that far. So the one on the right is the one that they looked more like, is it?
Yes, I mean, obviously this is not actually what he physically looked like, because he's got his elaborate war outfit on.
How do you know?
And this is, I think, more attuned to what we normally think, with a lot of fur.
I'd have thought on the right. I think, because that's the thing, you make yourself look bigger, don't you?
No,
big horns.
To me, sorry, I'm holding it a bit sideways. To me, that looks like more someone who's dressing up for a fancy dress party.
Well, that's no way to talk about a Viking.
The whiff of authenticity about it to me.
A little bit
That's what I would say.
Disrespectful to the Vikings, I think.
Conservationists say time is running out to secure funds to help reintroduce one of the UK's fastest declining mammals to a stretch of river in southwest London. Water voles were once a familiar sight on the Hogs Mill in Kingston, but are now thought to be extinct locally. Citizen Zoo, the group behind the project, want to release 200 voles in the hope they'll make a comeback.
Captain Sir Tom Moore, who raised more than £30 million for NHS charities, is today launching a new charitable foundation.
It aims to help those who are dealing with issues such as bereavement, mental health and loneliness. Captain Sir Tom says he was inspired to help people who are lonely after meeting residents in the care home where his late wife lived.
And she had me as a visitor, but some people, well, most of the people were ladies. They were really poor old things, but nobody ever came to see them. Year in, year out, some never ever had a visitor, and they must have been very lonely indeed.